So what is Neighborhoodr? Neighborhoodr is a reader-generated blog network where anyone can quickly and easily post about what's happening in their neighborhood without having to log in or register. So say you live in New York City and you live in the East Village and you want to check out the East Village blog. Well, you go to East Village and you can scroll down. They just took the scaffolding off this building, and sure, it's probably not of interest to most people in New York City, but if you live in the East Village, it is. It's all content either curated through the Tumblr network or people in the neighborhood submitting. So here's a video of a guy who has been standing outside of Ruben's Empanadas and cussing at people. He's just a bum. He's like, and dropping F-bombs left and right. Not very interesting for the great majority of people, but like if you live across from Ruben's and this is a problem, you're going to be interested in it. So you find your neighborhood, and if you want to submit something, you use Tumblr's easily submit form. And let's just say McSorley's is the best.
Change that to submit photo.
Yeah, so we're going to say submit a photo of McSorley's, which is my favorite bar in the East Village. Boom. And you accept the terms, and you submit. And then it goes away into a queue. And currently we have 60 neighborhoods, and most of them, well, about 20 of them now are moderated by community managers. And where does this go now? The community manager has a dashboard, and these are all on the right here. You can see all of our neighborhoods, and the numbers indicate how many posts are new. And you can just go to the East Village, and this is what the community moderator sees. And oh, look, there's 2 submissions. And all they have to do is say, oh, this is a great one, let's publish it. And you can go back to East Village Neighborhoodr, and there it is. So it's very simple, and you don't even need to have like a Tumblr account to use it. And speaking of food, I'm also the co-founder of This Is Why You're Fat. And we're basically we use the form. It's the reason it's so successful is because they're all exclusive stuff that people have made. So we have the toaster orgy. I don't know if you guys, yeah. Here's Cheetos with like strawberry yogurt. But its success is based solely on this user-submitted thing, and now we're just applying it to hyperlocal.
Yeah, so I think what makes us unique in the hyperlocal space, which is a pretty crowded space, it's a hot area right now, is the fact that we are pulling in content directly from this stream that can easily be whittled down by us. There's search functions built into the interface, so we can go and we can find out what's in the stream for the East Village. And it's just one click away to take that stuff from the stream and put it onto the main neighborhood page. We're not data-driven. We're not just pulling in RSS feeds. We're pulling in relevant content, and we have community managers which are curating that content. So it's not like we're just throwing data at you or just scraping RSS feeds from around the internet. So it's very, very highly relevant data for these neighborhoods.
So yeah, Tumblr has a great search function, and it would be impossible. The reason I came up with this, like, I was in Prospect Park South, and there was a great community blog. And then all of a sudden, the guy who was running it moved, and then no more community blog. I'm like, well, this is horrible. Like, there needs to be. I wish I could have taken it over, or a community could take it over, but I don't have time to run a blog. So if this is all ground up, user submitted, it's very easy in Tumblr to just say, hey, this is a great post, reblog. Just go to the East Village and reblog the post. Now it would have taken like 5 or 10 minutes maybe to write that post, and instead you just reblog it.
That's it.
That's it. It's pretty simple.
All right. No, so it's a very lightweight. I mean, one of the things I like about this is that it's super lightweight, right? I mean, it's not even built on WordPress, right? It's built on Tumblr. You couldn't have done less. which is
It took a long time to set up all those neighborhoods.
which is a good thing, or can be a good thing. And really, no better two people could have come up with this. Nobody knows more about user-generated content and local blogs than you two. But I want to hear from you, and we haven't really heard from you guys yet about this product. Where does it go? Is this something that you think can scale to 1 billion things, or is this a lifestyle? Hey, cool, Soup and Richard have Neighborhoodr going on, but they're also doing working at their current job. So is this going to be a big startup, and how does it get there?
We want it to be. I think we're really trying to tap into the community, and we want this to be as user-driven as possible. We already have 15 community managers. And
we've only been around for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And it's been overwhelming. The response has been great. Tumblr is a very simple platform, but it's really powerful, and you can have as many sub things in your dashboard, which makes it awesome.
And again, by tapping into the community, I mean, it would be difficult for the two of us to just manage this on our own, but there's all this, the utilities at our fingertips by having all that data in the stream and having community managers, and people are highly engaged in this. I mean, we get a lot of requests through emails for people that want to manage their neighborhoods. You have people in other parts of the country that are like, when are you coming to LA? When are you coming to San Francisco? I've gotten requests from people overseas. So there are people that want to manage this content. They're already on Tumblr. They're already reblogging tons of content, but they don't have something like Neighborhoodr in their area that can, highlight that stuff. So we're trying to get that to them.
And to answer your question, is this just a project for us? It took us a couple weeks to build it, and there's no overhead, and it pretty much runs itself. So we're just going to see. We hope that people use it and find it of interest, and if they do, then it's a success.
I love how you said you didn't have time to become a blog manager for your neighborhood, but you built a business instead. One of the peculiar possibilities of this is a very skewed perspective on neighborhoods, because it only is applicable to the types of people who use Tumblr. You start, it's got a Brooklyn hub, it's got a very New Yorky feel, and you have to and Tumblr's a weird service which isn't intuitive. Like, what is that? Whereas there's a lot of local content on a MySpace or Facebook that would reach other demographics and age groups. How do you address what the neighborhood looks like through Neighborhoodr?
This is why your fat was also on Tumblr, but anyone coming to it would never know unless they were logged into Tumblr. You would see the thing in the upper right-hand corner. And it was very successful because it had the user submit form. And that was like the key behind all of it. If you don't have a Tumblr, you don't know this is here. Now, our page views are horrible right now. That's because most of the people using this service are from Tumblr. So I honestly believe that the user submitter form is like the wave of the future as far as turning editorial top-down in blogging. And I think it's about a year or two out before, I feel like people just figured out the power of blogs and how to use them. And I think it's going to be another year or two before they realize the power of the user submit form. And I think, Gawker's doing it now. You can submit your own post on Gawker. This is why you're fat. There's a couple other Tumblr blogs. HuffPo. Just think of all, even Wikipedia. They have community managers, and it's user-generated, you name it. And it just hasn't really applied yet. So I think there's going to be a crossroad with hyperlocal wanting not just data, actual stories about your neighborhood. And that's going to be, I still think it's about a year or two out before people actually, to answer your question, it really doesn't matter that it's on Tumblr or not.
Yeah.
It's just an added benefit. For example, if you're on Tumblr, you can follow the neighborhood where you work and the neighborhood where you live, or someplace you're interested in moving to. But if not, you can just use the RSS feed or something.
And then will you guys talk a little bit, I know we've kind of danced around, but how you ultimately, ad-supported businesses has to get to crazy volume. And then even, do you have any concerns about the content? I know it's being curated, but as you balloon to that volume, what are the revenue streams that you kind of foresee?
I'm a bit more of a capitalist than Richard is. He kind of just sees it as, we'll throw it out there. It's a community service. People use it. Great. If they don't, they don't. But I think if this thing does gain a lot of momentum and a lot of people start to use it, those are a ton of eyeballs, and they're very focused on those neighborhoods. So the thing about advertising is you want to get into really niche markets, and you want to have people that opt into that. So although we get a lot of our folks coming to the site from outside the Tumblr network, folks that are inside the Tumblr network are following those neighborhoods. So it's like an opt-in subscription. So that's a more valuable viewer than somebody that's just going to a website. So we can sell that to an advertiser. So eventually we're thinking maybe you have sponsored posts, very transparent that those are sponsored posts. And that's one way we could drive revenue.
Yeah, that shows up not only on the blog, but in people's dashboard, which is like direct. It's more like the opt-in mail thing than it is having to go back and seeing an ad on a blog.
But do you envision it as a self-service? Oh, sorry. Self-service ads, or like a network of people going out to mine neighborhoods?
Like the last presenter was saying, for food spotting, we would allow them to have access for a fee, and then we would have someone who would approve those ads, so it would go into the queue, and we would decide whether or not it should go up or not.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.